Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most strategically important locations in modern geopolitics, the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. This small piece of land on the Baltic Sea, separated from mainland Russia and surrounded by NATO member states, has become one of the most heavily militarized regions in Europe. Many wonder why Russia treats Kaliningrad as if it were a priceless fortress, a forward operating spearhead, and a symbolic reminder of its historical might. In today's detailed review, we'll explore the military, political, economic, and historical reasons behind Russia's obsession with this territory, and why it continues to escalate its military presence there year after year. Kaliningrad, formerly known as Königsberg, is not just a region, it is a legacy of World War II, a strategic stronghold Russia has never been willing to compromise. After the Potsdam Agreement, the Soviet Union gained control of this territory, transforming it from a German cultural hub into a Soviet military bastion. Over time, the enclave became a forward post in the Cold War, hosting submarines, missile bases, and fleets ready to challenge NATO forces at any moment. Even after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia refused to treat Kaliningrad as just another province. Instead, it doubled down on its military purpose, turning it into a backbone of its defense strategy in Europe. Kaliningrad's position is its greatest asset. Situated between Poland and Lithuania with direct access to the Baltic Sea, it serves as Russia's most forward-placed territory inside Europe. From this small region, Russia can monitor NATO activity across the entire Baltic coastline, threaten military supply lines, and disrupt the movement of NATO forces in case of conflict. The region's proximity to major NATO capitals makes it crucial in Russia's calculations. Within minutes, Russian missiles from Kaliningrad can potentially reach Berlin, Warsaw, and Stockholm, making it a powerful pressure point during diplomatic tensions. One of Russia's biggest challenges is maintaining influence in the Baltic Sea region. With NATO's eastward expansion, Russia sees Kaliningrad as the only remaining foothold preventing NATO from dominating the entire Baltic coastline. If Russia were ever to lose control of Kaliningrad, the Baltic Sea would effectively become a NATO-controlled zone, reducing Russia's naval mobility and leaving St. Petersburg vulnerable. Russia's Baltic Fleet depends heavily on Kaliningrad's deep water ports, radar stations, and missile defenses. Without these assets, Russia's maritime presence in northern Europe would shrink dramatically. Another major factor making Kaliningrad strategic is the Suwałki Gap. This narrow corridor, stretching along the Poland-Lithuania border, is considered NATO's most vulnerable point in Europe. If Russia were ever to attempt an operation to link Kaliningrad with Belarus, the Suwałki Gap would be the key focus. Military analysts often describe it as the Achilles heel of NATO. From Kaliningrad, Russia could potentially cut off the Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia from the rest of Europe. This possibility alone keeps NATO forces on constant high alert and makes Kaliningrad a permanent center of military attention. Kaliningrad's military infrastructure is one of the most advanced and strategically layered in the world. The region houses Russia's Iskander-M missile systems, capable of carrying both conventional and nuclear warheads. These missiles are a major concern for European military planners because of their short flight time and unpredictable trajectories. Alongside these missiles, Kaliningrad boasts advanced S-400 and S-300 air defense systems that create a dense anti-access /area denial zone across the Baltic Sea. This means that any foreign aircraft entering the region without approval risks being tracked, intercepted, or potentially shot down. Russia has also been upgrading its radar systems to monitor NATO aircraft movements from hundreds of kilometers away. Kaliningrad's electronic warfare units can interfere with GPS signals, communications, and surveillance systems used by NATO. During recent tensions, several countries in northern Europe reported unusual GPS disruptions that many analysts believe were caused by Russian systems operating out of Kaliningrad. This makes the enclave not only a military stronghold, but also a hub for cyber and electronic warfare capabilities. Another dimension of Kaliningrad's importance is its naval capability. The Baltic Fleet, headquartered in Kaliningrad, serves as Russia's primary maritime force in northern Europe. Although the fleet is not as large as Russia's Pacific or Black Sea fleets, the strategic position of Kaliningrad amplifies its importance. From here, Russia can deploy submarines, frigates, and missile-equipped corvettes across the Baltic Sea. The fleet's presence is enough to challenge NATO's naval operations and force European nations to allocate significant resources to monitoring Russian movements. Even during peacetime, Russian naval drills in Kaliningrad often trigger strong reactions from NATO. Kaliningrad also plays an important role in Russia's nuclear deterrence strategy. There have been repeated reports of nuclear-capable weapons being moved into the region, though Russia neither fully confirms nor denies these deployments. This ambiguity works in Russia's favor. The possibility that nuclear weapons might be housed in Kaliningrad creates pressure on NATO and forces European governments to weigh risks more carefully during crises. From Russia's perspective, this nuclear ambiguity helps prevent what it views as NATO aggression or expansion. Beyond military considerations, Kaliningrad holds symbolic value. After the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia lost many territories and saw NATO expanding into Eastern Europe. Maintaining control over Kaliningrad allows Russia to demonstrate that it remains a major force in Europe. The enclave is a reminder of Russia's victory in World War II and serves as a geographic badge of great power status. Moscow understands that giving up Kaliningrad would not only be a strategic loss, but also a blow to national pride. Economically, Kaliningrad is a valuable gateway to European trade. Despite being heavily militarized, the region has ports that handle significant cargo, including oil products, machinery, and metals. Russia uses Kaliningrad to bypass certain European restrictions and maintain access to global maritime routes. The region also attracts tourism due to its beaches, museums, and historical landmarks. While military activity dominates the narrative, Kaliningrad has also been shaped into a semi-special economic zone. Its trade opportunities make it much more complex than a simple military outpost. However, Kaliningrad's isolation creates logistical challenges for Russia. To supply the region with food, fuel, and military equipment, Russia traditionally relied on rail routes passing through Lithuania. After tensions rose between Russia and Europe, Lithuania restricted the transport of sanctioned goods. This forced Russia to increase sea shipments and invest more heavily in its Baltic ports. Despite these challenges, Russia has continued to strengthen Kaliningrad's infrastructure, making it increasingly self-sufficient and reducing dependency on European transit routes. The region's political atmosphere is equally complex. Kaliningrad's population has cultural ties with both Russia and Europe. Many residents travel frequently to Poland and Lithuania, creating a unique blend of influences. Before relations deteriorated, the European Union proposed connecting Kaliningrad through special transit agreements, visas, and economic cooperation. But after Russia's recent military actions, these opportunities collapsed. Instead, Kaliningrad has become even more isolated and more militarized, deepening the divide between Russia and Europe. Russia's military buildup in Kaliningrad has led to constant tension in the Baltic region. NATO conducts frequent military exercises in nearby countries, while Russia responds with its own drills. Fighter jets from both sides regularly intercept each other over the Baltic Sea. This constant military presence increases the risk of accidental clashes, misunderstandings, or escalations. Analysts often refer to the Baltic region as a potential flashpoint where even a small incident could spark a larger crisis. Another critical factor is Russia's fear of losing influence in Eastern Europe. The Baltic states are former Soviet republics that now belong to NATO. For Russia, this is both a strategic setback and a political reminder of lost territory. Kaliningrad allows Russia to maintain a strong presence near these states and counterbalance NATO's expansion. From Moscow's perspective, the region is a forward defense line protecting Russia from what it views as Western encirclement. Kaliningrad's role grew even more significant after Sweden and Finland decided to join NATO. With these two nations becoming part of the alliance, the Baltic Sea has become almost entirely surrounded by NATO. Russia now relies heavily on Kaliningrad to prevent complete encirclement and maintain some form of strategic leverage. Without Kaliningrad, Russia's position in the Baltic Sea would be dangerously weak, and its political influence would shrink further. Russia also uses Kaliningrad as a platform for diplomatic pressure. During periods of tension, Moscow often hints at increasing deployments or conducting missile tests in the region. These announcements send strong messages to European governments, forcing them to reconsider military decisions or sanctions. Kaliningrad's military power gives Russia bargaining strength in international negotiations. A major element behind Russia's commitment to Kaliningrad is deterrence. By maintaining strong forces in the region, Russia aims to discourage NATO from deploying too many troops in nearby states. Russia believes that if NATO were to significantly expand its military presence in Poland or Lithuania, Kaliningrad would be threatened. Therefore, by strengthening its own forces, Russia ensures a balance of power that prevents either side from gaining too much advantage. Russian military doctrine emphasizes the importance of projecting power far beyond its borders. Kaliningrad allows Russia to extend its influence deep into Europe without having to rely on mainland bases. From the Kremlin's perspective, the region enhances Russia's status as a global military actor capable of shaping European security dynamics. Energy routes also play a role. The Baltic Sea hosts numerous pipelines, shipping lanes, and energy infrastructure critical to Europe. Control over Kaliningrad gives Russia leverage over these routes and increases its ability to influence European energy markets. Even though Europe has reduced reliance on Russian gas, the region still remains important in broader economic calculations. Kaliningrad's cultural development is intertwined with its military role. Russia has invested heavily in museums, universities, and urban development projects to strengthen the region's identity. The Kremlin wants the people of Kaliningrad to feel deeply connected to Russia despite geographic separation. This emotional bond helps maintain stability and reduces the risk of separatist sentiment. The region has also become an intelligence hub. Russian intelligence agencies operate from Kaliningrad to monitor NATO installations in Poland, Germany, and the Baltic states. The location allows Russia to collect data on troop movements, air defense systems, and technological developments. This intelligence capability further enhances Kaliningrad's strategic value. Over the years, Russia has responded to NATO installations in Europe by increasing missile systems and aircraft in Kaliningrad. For example, when the U.S. deployed missile defense systems in Poland and Romania, Russia countered by moving new missiles into Kaliningrad. This tit-for-tat escalation has made the region one of the most militarized zones in the world. The region is also important for Russia's psychological warfare strategy. Displaying military power in Kaliningrad sends a message of strength to both domestic and international audiences. For Russians, it reinforces the idea that their country remains a major power. For Europe, it serves as a reminder that Russia still holds significant military capability near NATO borders. Russia's naval modernization plans include upgrades to Kaliningrad shipyards and ports. This ensures the Baltic Fleet can continue to operate modern vessels capable of launching cruise missiles. Maintaining a powerful navy in the Baltic Sea helps Russia defend its coastline and challenge NATO's maritime dominance. Kaliningrad's geography gives Russia the ability to monitor key European infrastructures such as pipelines, rail networks, military bases, and communication centers. This surveillance ability contributes to Russia's broader security objectives. In a potential conflict, Russia could disrupt these infrastructures using cyber warfare or missile strikes. Another reason Kaliningrad is strategic is its role in Russia's domestic politics. Leaders in Moscow use the region to strengthen national unity by highlighting its importance. During political campaigns, references to protecting Kaliningrad help build support and create a sense of patriotic duty. Losing control of the region would be politically devastating for the Kremlin. Russia's commitment to Kaliningrad also reflects its long-term military planning. Rather than viewing the region as a temporary outpost, Russia has invested millions in expanding bases, building new airfields, upgrading fortifications, and modernizing communication networks. These investments show that Russia sees Kaliningrad as a permanent cornerstone of its national defense. Kaliningrad's ports are among the only Russian ports in the Baltic Sea that remain ice-free during winter. This logistical advantage ensures that the Russian Navy can operate year-round without interruption. Maintaining a year-round naval presence enhances Russia's ability to project power and respond quickly to regional crises. The region is also home to strategically placed storage facilities for weapons, fuel, and ammunition. These stockpiles make Kaliningrad capable of sustaining military operations without depending heavily on mainland Russia. Self-sufficiency in wartime is a key advantage that contributes to the region's strategic importance. Environmental and geographical characteristics add to the enclave's military utility. Dense forests and rugged terrain provide natural protection and make it harder for potential adversaries to conduct surveillance or plan ground operations. Russia has built underground bunkers and hardened facilities throughout the region, making it a fortified zone. Kaliningrad offers Russia a unique platform to test new military technologies. Missile tests, naval drills, electronic warfare experiments, and aerial exercises are frequently conducted here. This allows Russia to evaluate its new systems close to NATO, creating opportunities to measure their responses. Russia also uses Kaliningrad as a counterbalance against the U.S. presence in Europe, as the U.S. increases military cooperation with Poland and other allies. Russia strengthens its position in Kaliningrad to signal that it will not be pushed out of Europe. The region functions as a core part of Russia's message that it remains an indispensable player in regional security. Historically, Kaliningrad has been part of Russia's buffer's own mindset, the belief that security comes from controlling or influencing territories near its borders. Although Kaliningrad is physically separated, it still serves this purpose by pushing Russia's defensive line deep into Europe. Recent geopolitical tensions, including sanctions and diplomatic disputes, have only increased Kaliningrad's relevance. Isolated yet heavily armed, the enclave has become a symbol of Russia's defiance and resilience. The more strained relations become, the more Russia reinforces Kaliningrad, ensuring that its presence in Europe cannot be ignored. In strategic wargames conducted by analysts around the world, Kaliningrad almost always appears as a centerpiece of potential conflict scenarios. Its military capabilities make it a powerful offensive platform, while its isolated geography makes it vulnerable to blockade. This dual nature makes the region both a strength and a risk for Russia. Despite its challenges, Russia views Kaliningrad as irreplaceable. It provides military depth, geopolitical leverage, intelligence capability, naval access, and nuclear deterrence. It is a gateway to Europe, a fortress on the Baltic Sea, and a reminder of Russia's historical legacy. Kaliningrad remains one of the most significant flashpoints in modern military strategy. As long as Russia and NATO maintain competing visions for European security, the region will continue to be a heavily contested zone of influence. Its geography, history, and military power ensure that it will remain a focal point of global attention for years to come. Kaliningrad is not just a military base. It is a strategic puzzle piece that shapes the balance of power in Europe. Russia will continue to guard it fiercely, develop it militarily, and use it as leverage in global politics. Understanding Kaliningrad is essential for understanding modern geopolitics, military strategy, and the future of Russia's relationship with the West.